Hey guys, Dev here at WeBuyHouses.com. Welcome to the Cash Offer Masterclass. It's episode number 95. We've got something really special coming for 100. So guys, make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification and all that kind of stuff so that you see 100 that's coming up. I'll give you a sneak preview of that at the end of this video so you know what's coming. Today, though, we're going to do something a little different. Of course, we're looking at houses. That's what we do in the Cash Offer Masterclass. We help you guys figure out what you can pay for an investment property. What's the right offer to make given the condition, location, all those other factors. Now, today, this is one of the houses we're looking at, but we're actually going to look at three. I noticed in just the emails I had gotten from Fazio today, I had three different San Antonio homes in the emails, and I thought it'd be cool to look at the three and pick out which one is the best deal. And we're not going to do everything that we normally would do, looking at each individual house, because we're going to look at three houses today, and we want to keep it relatively succinct for you. These are the three. They're from Fazio. The first one is West Side Value Add Opportunity. There's the house. This one's 1971 square feet, built in 1959. They say ARV 170. They want 113, and HVAC is going to have an issue. And there's a little sneak preview of pictures into that place. By the way, as we look at the three houses, if you have any interest in the houses, reach out to Jade Vaughn there at Fazio Real Estate Solutions. She can be reached at 214-646-9646. We don't make a penny if you buy these houses. I'm not selling houses on this channel. They're selling houses. They send me these emails. I make videos out of them. That's how our relationship works. And with that, I'm able to show you guys so many different properties and all the repairs needed and all the conversations that we've had now in over 90 episodes on the channel. So I hope you guys are enjoying this and getting a ton of value from it. So that's our first subject, is this one on Hatton. We're going to look a little bit more about where they are and things like that. Our second subject, Highland Farms flip and prime military and school access, etc. This one, 1837, a little bit bigger than the other one and much newer. This is a 50-year-old or a 40-year-old newer house, 42 years newer. And they say 230 ARV on this one. They're only looking for 130. Sounds like a good deal. They don't have any known issues on the Big Five. Sneak preview says the pictures were shot on a potato. I don't know what happened there. I don't blame it on you, Jade. Not your problem, but somebody didn't get good photos on that one. But we'll be able to evaluate it nonetheless. And the third San Antonio property that we're looking at today is this one on Manning, 158 Manning. This is a tiny house. Not technically, I guess, a tiny house, but it's under 1,000 square feet. And I think that's pretty tiny. 915 square feet. They've crammed 3 bedrooms and 1 bath in there on that little lot, which is really about the same size as the first lot. 1955 is the build on this one. So let's kind of just think about what have we seen so far. We've seen this one is old, but it's not too old. And it actually looks pretty good in the photo. We'll see it closer up. We do think it has some issues there, but basically looking for 113 for this one. They're looking for 129.9 for this one. That looks like maybe it's in a little bit better shape, and it's much newer. And if the discount, so it may need less repairs than a significantly older home. If we look at the third one, only looking for 89.9, so we're under $100,000 on a house in San Antonio. Of course, it's a tiny home, and it's probably not in great shape. Built in 1955, and they do say no known issues. And we didn't see those pictures before. Those pictures actually look pretty good of that house. So That's the three that we have. Now, what I like to do is I'm trying to figure out which one that I'm going to do my show on, take the time to actually analyze and come up with a cash offer value that I'll plug into this thing right here. Is I would go look at each of these properties. So the first one is this guy right here, 3122 Hatton. This is the one built in 1959. And we see it is right there. Very interesting circular front porch. Actually kind of cool. And, you know, it's a nice little neighborhood. Nice little first time buyer, renter neighborhood. Some people have converted and then built carports because they converted their garages to living space. And you see this a lot. Yeah, look at the palm trees, man. This thing's looking like Florida out here. All right, so that is the street. The location of this one is Edgewood, Brady Gardens, in that area, out on off the 90, headed west out of San Antonio, and inside of the inner loop. So you got that 410 loop, and you get the 1604 loop. They're inside there. As you saw, old neighborhood, you know, a lot of houses with converted garages and things. The neighborhood did not look that bad, though. I didn't think it looked too horrible. Go back here and just look at Zillow on that bad boy. 156 is what Zillow's saying. And these guys are hoping for 170 on the ARV. So 156 compared to 170, and then they're only looking for 113. So not too far off. I will tell you that I can't show you the property radar screen. It shows all the personal information for the homeowners, but I did pull the values, and property radar had 3122 Hatton at 175,459. So definitely in line with this ARV right here. So what are we at on this one? If I grab my calculator and whoops, come on calculator, play along with me. Okay, I've got the house at 170,000. Let's see. How do I want to do this? No, I think I need to do this. Am I doing this the right direction? I may be going the wrong direction. Yeah, I think I went the wrong direction. Okay, hold on. I think I'm supposed to go 113,500 times 100 divided by 170,000 equals 66. So we're at 67% on that one. Boy, sorry I wasted your time on that. But we'll call it 67. That was this, by the way, is percent equity. All these homes are outright owned by the owners, which I thought was interesting. 67 compared to the property radar number on the one on Hatton. Let's go look at this one on Highland Farm Road. It's right here. And we're going to look at this. This was the newer one, right? Yeah, built in 2001, newer house. So here we are looking at that one, looking around on that street. Yeah, definitely a newer area. What is that over there? Oh, it looks like they're building some commercial stuff. And here's the street. Got some 2 stories. Yeah, this is a nice street. It's a pretty nice street. Okay, so that's where that one is. Let's go back. As far as its place in the city, see, it's right by that HEB. You know, I love that. This one is outside of the loop. It's on the east side of San Antonio. Newer area. That Sunrise, Woodlake area up there is a newer spot. And so you got newer homes. And I think a little more desirable, to be honest. So let's see. They are looking for 129. They think the ARV is 230. So what I'll do now is I'll go back to my search. I'll click on Zillow. And you guys know I look at Zillow, Redfin, Realtor, Property Radar, and I average and median those. Right now I'm just doing a sanity check against Zillow and Property Radar. So Zillow's got this bad boy at 220. They were saying 230, not far off. Fazio doing a really good job on these ARVs, my friend. So 220 is what Zillow said. And on the Highland Farm Property Radar's got it at 235. They're at 230. So, okay, 129,900. Let's do the calculation again. And I'll do it the right direction this time. 129,900 times 100. So I'm going to add 2 zeros. Divided by the 235. I'm going to give it from Property Radar. That one's at 55%. So I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to say 55%. And a newer house that I think is really going to be an attractive, when we look at which one of the three that we would go, get serious about. I really like the newer property. It's not a brand new property, but it's not an old property with all the problems that might come with it. Like this one, built in 1955, this little house. They only want 89 for it. They say the ARV is 150. Let's look at the little house on Manning. Okay, we jump over there and we look at it, and there it is. Cute little place. 915 square feet, man. That is not much. And as we look around, well, that's not a bad looking house across the street. Actually, a home made with stone with a carport. And as we look around, I bet you're going to find, that looks like that might still be a garage, but you'll find a lot of these have been converted, although that's not converted. There's the driveway goes to the back. Anyway, all right, so that's the street. It's definitely a 1955 kind of looking street, right, guys? It's, it's okay. For rentals, it could be fine. Let's see, where is this place located? For that, we pull out and find that it is not far from the other one. The other one was down here in that Edgewood spot. So this one's a little north of there, inner west side, kind of Woodland Hills, not quite. So also not as easy access to the highway. I think this, you notice you would have to go down some long streets to get to the highways. The other one, the older home down here, was closer to the highway. So, all right, last step. What does Zillow say about this house on Manning? Zillow says 145. 145. Fazio said 150. Once again, Fazio, you guys are doing so well in the ARVs. Any of you guys that get emails from wholesalers, the ARVs are usually just crap. They're meaningless. Where the Fazio numbers, they're very close to what we're finding. When I look at the Manning property, though, on Property Radar, they're only giving it $100,000 of value, not the 145 that's coming from Zillow. So I'm a little concerned about this one. Is it really worth 145? If you look on their price history, it's been between 120 and 140, for the past, period of time, 6 months or so. So, well, man, I got to tell you guys, I think what we got to do is the calculation here, and I'm going to just give it the let's see, they said 150 on Manning. I'm going to give it 145 based upon what we got from Zillow, and realizing that it's way below what Property Radar says. So you can see how I'm kind of using these different services and numbers to help me sanity check each other and that kind of thing. But if let's see, what do they want for it? They want 89.9. So my calculation is I take the 89,900 I multiply that times 100. I divide that by the 145,000, which is what I think ARV could be, and I get a 62. And so we're at 62%. And then from here, guys, what I was really trying to show you is that when you're looking at multiple properties in the same area, same city or county or whatever it might be, metro area like this, there's going to be different factors that cause one to be more attractive than the other. And I'll tell you right now, if I had to make a decision, I would decide to look heavily at the 4807 Highland Farm property in San Antonio. Why? It's a newer property, much newer. It's basically supports a 235 ARV, and they said 230, so I think the ARV is spot on from Fazio. And then it appears to be priced at a 55% discount to ARV. Now, I think this one, I did a little cheating and I looked, and I think this one has, the horrible pictures. Look at this. This is a nice property, I think. I can't tell much about it. I don't know how you get a picture that bad. In 2026, what would you do to your camera? What kind of camera would you use to take photos like this? I don't know. You guys that are wholesalers, you've got to get this right. The photos are everything for a wholesaler email. You really need to show that you've been to the property, you've evaluated it, you have a good idea of what it needs, and you can tell this one needs pretty substantial cosmetic, right? Pretty substantial cosmetic. I'm going to say top to bottom, but I can't tell. It's like they smeared Vaseline on the back of the camera lens. Like, what in the world? Look at that. It's like a painting by Matisse or something. What in the world? Even the videos, check this out. Just blurry videos. Blurry videos. What can you get out of this? I'm not blaming Fazio. This could have, I don't know who shot these things. Look, their camera kind of, it worked for a minute. Just a minute. Yeah, look, we're getting kind of a better shot. Kitchen looked like, definitely could use some updating. That bathroom doesn't look too bad. Yeah. So, I'm not going to do the whole show, on that property now that we selected. But this is definitely the one that I would begin to work on. I would copy that. I would put it in my address here. I would go grab the square feet, 1837. 1837. And then I'm wanting to get to 235, so I'd kind of look at what is 135, what is 125, what is 127. Yep, 235. Maybe 128. Yeah, 235. So that's where I'm at. Like, now, if I just, let's say I just deleted all this, remove that so I don't confuse you guys with that. And I'm now starting to work, I'm now starting to work just on the Highland Farm property. And I'm starting with that 235, and I see a full cosmetic. And that gives me 18,000, takes me to 146. They're looking for 129. So I've got some more room to work here. General repair. Oh, wait. Did this one say? It said no known issues. I'm going to throw some general repairs in there. It could need an air conditioner or something. That takes me down to 135. And yeah, maybe it needs some of this stuff, but just full cosmetic, full general repairs gives me $30,000 budget, 135. You see how that deal worked out for us? The ARV is actually, I think, a little higher than they say, and the purchase price that they're looking for looks really good. We're talking about a newer home. It was in a more desirable area of the city. It was the bigger of the homes, which makes it much more desirable for a renter or a first-time buyer. a full 3.2, or that third house was a 3.1 and half the size of this. So this is the one I would go for. I would absolutely go for the house there at 4807 Highland Farm, and I think what they're looking for, 129,900, looks like a pretty good deal on that house. So not a full detail job on this one today, but just to give you an idea how I start with a few different opportunities. I start to narrow them down, find one that I think is worth spending some time on and doing the analysis, and that's what we get. So guys, I want to thank you for joining me today, and just remind you that we have several ways that we help professional real estate investors with leads, with an entire territory and all the systems needed to run a WeBuyHouses.com business in an exclusive market. And with the very top tier investors, we actually work with a few of those guys on a pre-qualified referral basis, where we work the leads, we find the motivated sellers, and we actually hand them off to someone that can consummate that deal, a true professional. So several ways that you can work with this. If you have any interest, reach out to Mike, 817-435-4446. Just to tell you, coming up on episode 100, I've got a special guest. It's Sean O'Toole. He's the founder and CEO of Property Radar. I think actually he now has brought on a separate CEO, so maybe he's the chairman now. I'm not exactly sure, but Sean's the guy that started Property Radar. It's a service that we use every day, and I use the Property Radar numbers you'll see in all my videos. It's the number I trust the most. And so Sean and I will talk about the importance of data and how smart investors are using data to have a competitive advantage in today's market. Guys, that's it. If you, by the way, have a home that you'd like to sell, you don't want it anymore, it needs a bunch of repairs, you'd like to turn that house into a big pile of cash, that's what we do. We're the magicians that turn a crappy house you own into a big pile of cash for you in a very short period of time. If you have any interest in that, put your address in, answer the 8 questions, and we will connect you with a top real estate professional, local person in your market, and they'll be the best option for you. I can guarantee it. Thanks for spending time with me today. Looking forward to the episodes that are coming up. I'm not putting out quite as many these days, but I think it's, what do they say, quality more important than quantity. I'm trying to do something meaningful with each of these videos so that I really, I really value your time. And if you're going to spend time with me, especially till the end, you're kind of part of my 1% club. You're the people that I am doing this for. I'm not getting paid to put these videos out. I'm not selling a course, anything like that. What we're doing for the good of the market. We think if you're good at this, you can partner with us and we can make a lot of money together. And that's the basic idea. So guys, have a wonderful rest of your day. Talk to you soon. Adios.